Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a Nordic Longhouse in Minecraft. Let's get started. So let's take a look at the exterior of our Longhouse before we start the tutorial itself. As you can see here, most of the building is actually a roof. And the exact design for this was inspired by the Scandinavian stave churches. I think if you look those up, you will see the resemblance of it, but it's also done in the form of a longhouse as well. We can see, of course, it's long in this direction, and it is indeed a house. You can use it for that. We do have a lot of rooms and everything, but of course, it's mostly roof because there's a lot of snow in the Nordic region, so it has a steep pitch to slough all the snow off down to the bottom there. Whenever it's snowing, of course, it's not currently snowing here. We have a nice day to build our longhouse, but we do have some nice wooden carved ornamented features on the end in various places, mostly at the front and at the top as well. We just have a more simple design here along the middle sections of the roof. Now, one thing you need to know about this building is that except for the roof, it is 100% flammable, meaning that it's entirely made of wood, as these buildings would have been. So, wherever you're exactly going to build this, you need to bear that in mind. You may want to put, some lightning rods on top of it, or just turn fire tech off completely. Because, one stray spark and the entire thing is gone. So, the interior of the building, I think, is perhaps not quite as spectacular as the exterior, considering all the different roof designs. Of course, we have several roofs nested into each other. We have a large roof here, but we have like 3 dormers along here, a side projection here, a lower side projection here, and then sort of wrapped around there with another projection here as well. And a nice little cap at the top. I think from a distance it looks pretty unique, I think. Definitely a more fantasy inspired Nordic type longhouse. But I think we've seen enough of the exterior. Let's actually go inside and see what we have in here. So, as you might expect inside of a longhouse, we have, of course, a great hall with a really long and narrow fireplace, as they would have had. Of course, we have a haunch of meat here, or roasting on a spit above the campfires. I don't have the campfires placed here, but where these torches are, you need to imagine that there's campfires. And we have a couple of places here where we can sit down and enjoy our fire and stay warm inside of our longhouse and everything. Of course, we have some feasting tables over here as well. A couple of potted plants, and also have included some chests over here for you to store things in. Now, the decorations here in the hall aren't included in the tutorial itself. They are included in the world download, and I'm showing them to you here. But, you can see here, I don't think you really need a tutorial on this chair. I mean, this is a slab and 3 trapdoors. I mean, anybody can make that. The same goes for the plant pots and everything over here. This is just some chests with some, some more trapdoors and buttons and everything. A few anvils along the side here for decoration. They appear to be invisible at the moment, but over here there were supposed to be armor stands in between those with like suits of armor on them. Don't know what happened to that. Those things just like to randomly disappear and everything. But as for the table, of course, we just got, trapdoors all along right here, and then behind that we just have some stairs and half slabs right across the top there for the table. It's really not complicated. I should probably do maybe some, I don't know, it would be a super short video on those. But the main feature I want to show you inside our feasting hall here is, of course, the hammer beam ceiling that we have up here as well. Let's get a little perspective on this. This is what really makes this building special on the interior here. Not only do we have a spacious great hall we have a very nice carved wooden hammer beam ceiling up here as well. And if I can get a good vantage point here, we can see the ceiling itself. It's really like a Gothic wooden arch, but it's got some smaller arches here that go this way, and then we have an arch that way, and then a brown back down that way, sitting on top of our wooden post and everything here. And the design just repeats 7 times down the hallway here. Of course, we have some little carved decorations here with the stairs, some half slabs and everything. It's a good place to hide some torches up here, too, though. But as you can see, this goes up quite a ways. We have quite a lot of rafters in this building. There's going to be a lot of nooks and crannies that we're going to take a look at. If you like to have a building with, like, you know, a lot of little hidden spaces and everything in it, a little sort of like a rat's nest of a building, this is going to definitely be one that you will enjoy, I think. So let's leave our feasting hall behind for the moment and take a look at. There are 4 entrances to the building, 1 on each side. So this is the entrance along the long side, or I guess along the narrow, along the long axis of the building. Of course, we came in over there. And you can, of course, approach the building from anywhere you want to and still be able to get inside and just walk directly into your hall. Right here. You can see, though, we have several decks or stories behind this to go take a look at. And, of course, as you might expect, there are some stairs. So let's go up to the 2nd level and walk around here. Right through the door. And we'll ignore these stairs for the moment and go over this way. It's a little twisty turning. But we can see that we are up on the 2nd level of our longhouse. So if we want to walk around the perimeter here, we can see that there are some more stairs back over here, which takes us to where we originally came in at. Right here, and then we can, of course, immediately go back up. Right here, continue walking around. And if we walk back over here, of course, we see another set of stairs, so let's go up there. I think that's going to be where we came in. That's going to be the stairs on the other side there. So if we walk up here, we can see we've got some small rooms up here and some more doors, which take us, of course, to our 3rd level of our feasting hall down there. So let's just take a little walk around the perimeter. I want to try and show you the entire building. You can see, of course, our nice hammer beam ceiling up here. I think these are the stairs we just came up at, I think. Wait, no. Yeah. These are... I always hate it when you get caught on a door. So along the long side of the building, there are, of course, more stairs, which take you up here. But if we go back over here, we, of course, have a large room here, suitable for you to, you know, store things in and whatnot. It's not the biggest room that we're going to have, though. But from this point onwards, we kind of ran out of space to add more stairwells, so we had to resort to some ladders. Well, let's go up the ladder here. We've got a little room here. We can see some of our roof tiles poking in now. Through the doorway here, we, of course, can go up to even higher in our hall. Take a look around here. Got a little room, narrow room there for you to hide things in. This is going to be another ladder room. And if we open the door here, we just have a little narrow passageway. We can walk down the room here. We do have some very small side rooms here. Remember, I said we had an awful lot of little nooks and crannies in this building. And as soon as we get to the middle here, we do have another space right here, which if we go back down here, we can, of course, access that from here and then go immediately upwards to where we just were. But we can also climb up to a higher level up here, which, of course, you know, more doors. So we have the very highest level we can get to in our feasting hall. We, of course, see we have an awful lot of rafters up here. And we can see it's a pretty long way down now. back down there. But of course, as you would expect, there are more little rooms along here. This is, of course, where our other ladder came up into this room here. The ceilings get more and more irregular because of the roof design outside and everything. But we do have yet another ladder. So if we want to crawl up that one, that will actually bring us all the way up to what I would call the roost of the building here. Let me just throw down some torches so we can see what we're doing. There we are. So this, I think, would be if you wanted to like live in this and not down there in the feasting hall. If you want to like live higher up in the building, you certainly have a large spacious area up here for you to be able to do that. Of course, we've got four ladders over here for access, and we do have 2 ladders on the side as well. We do have, this is where our dormers were on the exterior here. You can see that with our windows. We do have some side alcoves for you to store some torches in. Torches. Well, I suppose you can store some torches in them. You can store some chests with whatever you need to in them. Down here, of course, we do have another ladder. Right here, this is our really long ladder. Right there, we went through that door earlier, so we can also have another ladder, which will lead us straight up to our main, the top roost of the building. Of course, it's got some nice carved arches and everything as well, you know, some rafters and everything. I tried to make it look interesting. It's got a couple of levels to it and everything, but as you can see here, we do have some more ladders, which means we can go higher up in the building. So we can go to another level here on top of our roost. Sort of another little attic area where you can store some more chests and everything. But we can go even higher up here, and this is the highest room in the longhouse, and we have a couple of doors here which will actually lead you out onto the roof. So this is where we came from, so if we want to back out of that, we can see that we have been able to crawl all the way from the bottom to the top of the longhouse. Of course, it is a very windy and circuitous route to get around the longhouse, but you know, as I said, this is sort of medieval architecture, so we have to include a lot of silly things in there that don't really make sense in order for it to qualify as medieval as they do. But yeah, that's basically the entire building. Let me go over here and show you to you as a quadrant. In other words, this is a quarter of the building as it stands. So we can see down here we do have, you know, the feasting hall. Oh, there's the set. There's the suits of armor that didn't show up in between the anvils there. But we can see here, of course, we've got a quarter of our hammer beam ceiling design, and it is, of course, supporting with a lot of structural integrity the roost level above it all the way up here. And of course, you've got the level above that, and then the very top most level here, which is, of course, like this is I put these in like if you wanted to, if you have like an elytra and you want to just land on the top of your building, you know, you'll have to try and land here, I suppose, and then you would be able to go into your building and, you know, and straight down into your roost right down there. And yeah, as you can see, we have quite a lot of winding passageways. Here's one of the ladders that goes up there, and then you have to go up there and then into the roost. But to get up here, you had to go through the stairwell here and down from there. You have an equally windy route on this section over here. We have a stairwell. There's going to be another stairwell behind that there. Right here. And then, of course, you had more ladders over here that go up there. And then, what was it? I think there's a ladder that goes up here. And then I think there's a side ladder somewhere over here. Somewhere over here that goes up to the top level of the roost. So yeah, I tried to put a lot of thought into making the building not just an exterior, but sort of, you know, interesting to use. It's definitely, you know, kind of maze-like. It's got that old school Minecraft feel to it, I think. So I hope you will indeed enjoy that. As I said, this building is 100% flammable, which means you have, I hope you have a lot of spruce and oak farms to gather all the wood for that. And I will mention as an aside, if you don't want to collect all the obsidian here for the roof and the floor, deep slate tiles. It would be an acceptable substitute block for that. You've already seen the materials list and the dimensions on the first few seconds of the video, if you missed that. Now, the exact dimensions for this, we're going to count out the base of it. But the exact dimensions, they include the hanging over sections here. Right here, because if you'll notice the trap door here, it actually falls outside the base of the building, as do the ones over there. So, you know, just like a good medieval building, things kind of lean out and overhang in certain areas, as they do. Very typical of medieval structures to do that. Of course, that's why we got the wooden post construction and everything too, and very little stone inside the building. The only real stone sections we have are some decorative sections over the door, and of course, the foundation itself. Alright, so let's start the tutorial proper, but before we do, I want to say, of course, that this world is available for download in the video description for both Java and Bedrock versions, in case you're only here for the world download, I understand. But if you want to use the rest of the video as a companion while you build and everything, we're going to go through it according, you know, slice by slice for all, I don't remember how tall the building was. It looks 50-something blocks, I think. Probably what it is. So let's take a good top-down view here of the foundation. I think, where should we start? Well, I think a good place to start here is actually going to be by the doorway. Down here, let's first take a look at the little garden wall that we have. Of course, we're going to be using cobbled deep slate for that. Now, I showed you a quarter of the building over there, which means if we draw a line straight through here and extend it through the building, that's going to be a center line, which of course means that this building on the right side here is going to be a mirror image of what's on the left side over here. And conversely, if we go over here to this door and draw a center line right here, we can divide the building in twain that way as well, and it's symmetrical on either side of the center line that way. So as we go, you really need to only know how to build 1/4 of the building, and then you're just mirroring the entire thing again to get the rest of the building. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of repeating patterns and everything, so, you know, don't be overwhelmed by the complexity of the roof and the building and everything. We're going to take it one slice at a time. We're going to look at all the blocks, and that's how we're going to go. So, here we've got, of course, a 3-block wide, a little 3x3 section. This, I don't think that's actually included in the materials list, actually. I may have forgotten that. I'll try to add it if I remember. But you have, this is actually, you have to dig down for this, just for here, right for the doorway. Not included in the dimensions either. For that little 3x3 cobbled deep slate. On either side of that, we have 2 blocks of cobbled deep slate, and then 3 cobblestone stairs. 1 block of deep slate, 3 cobblestone stairs. You know what? You can see what we're doing here. For every 1 block of deep slate we're putting down 3 cobblestone stairs. For, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules. And then we want to turn and do stairs facing in this way. And then a block. And then 2 stairs and a block. 2 stairs and a block. 2 stairs and a block. For a total of, what was that? 4 modules. And then turn the corner. We want to do 2 more modules here of stairs and deep slate. And then over here we have another 3x3 thing for the door. And that's it for the garden wall. We can see behind that, all you want to do is come around and place right behind that oak leaf blocks, just directly behind those in this pattern here. And then back here by the door, we want to count back 1, 2, 3. What is it? 4 blocks. And then place down for the deep slate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 15, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3 there, and then 4 there to get us back to connecting to the garden wall. And then in front of that, you just want to come around and place the oak leaves right in front of that. Just like so. And then here for our doorway, we just have a couple of stone brick stairs right there, and then a bit of deep slate behind that. And then we can start the checkerboard pattern for the obsidian and red nether brick for the floor right here. So for that's hard to say. For the floor, I am going to zoom out here and give you a good close-in quadrant view of it. And I think with the checkerboard pattern of the floor here, it's going to be pretty easy for you to see what to place down rather than having me laboriously count everything out. And you can fill everything in that's not floor there with cobbled deep slate. We can see in the floor we have some cobbled deep slate blocks, and that's because those are going to be the post pads for our posts that will support our hammer beam ceiling and the rest of the longhouse. We can also see that right here in the middle we do have just a bit of cobblestone and a little a line of 5 blocks of cobbled deep slate there, and that's where our campfires are going to go. For our, we need to be able to heat the longhouse some way. And the Vikings did not have central heat and air. So, of course, we have to resort to fires. And, of course, it's a longhouse, so we have to have a very long fire. They didn't have chimneys either, so it just, the smoke would just waft up into the upper areas, and it would actually serve to heat the rest of the rooms that we have up here at the top as well. And the smoke would just, kind of seep out of the top, really. Carrying all the warm air with it and everything. I think that's pretty much all we need to do that I need to talk about. For phase 1, of course, you need to go around and make the measurements 4 times. The measurements we did here, you want to just turn the corner and repeat those numbers going this way, and repeat them a 3rd time going that way, and repeat them a 4th time to bring you right around to our original center line. All right. So let's now go over here and take a look at phase 2. All right, let's start over here at our little garden wall. So we got a couple of stairs right here, and then on top of our cobblestone stairs, we just have 3 slabs and then a full block of deep slate. 3 slabs and a full block of deep slate. I didn't do very complicated little garden walls here. I think they look nice, but we want to. It's a Viking aesthetic, so we want to keep things a bit more rustic. So I didn't go, super fancy with those. Of course, we've got, some more slabs here and more full blocks. It's just like so. And then 2 more stairs here, more cobble slabs there, and then that's going to be it for the garden wall. So that's done. Now let's start over here at our main doorway. So we've got our first little, I think, these are probably spruce posts. A lot of the building is going to be bark blocks, especially for the roof. But you can use just standard spruce posts if you want to, except for the exterior. All right, so here, right behind our oak leaf blocks, we have a full block here of deep slate, and then 4 blocks, 4 slabs, and then 3 blocks here. I'm pretty sure that's going to be internal to the building. You can probably just fill that in with some more deep slate. And then some slabs here, and as you can see, we have deep slate behind that. So let me just give you a top-down view here. You can use the flooring that you've already put down and counted out to help you outline where, of course, all the deep slate is going. We also have our first couple of stairs right here to take us to our upper levels. Right there. Let's take a look first, though, at the exterior of the building, and then we'll take a pass around the interior to get that view. All right, and then over here for the doorway along the long axis of the building. Oh, tongue twisters in today's video, that's for sure. So now let's start here and take a pass around the interior of the building. You probably don't need this, but I'm just going to anyway. On here in the middle of the building, you can go ahead and put down these extra blocks here, which of course are going to be our post pads for our posts. Because you don't want to sink the post directly into the ground. You want to have it sitting on a little wooden, a little stone something, a little bit above the ground. Because, wood in the ground has a tendency to rot. So they did not do that. That's why they have everything on post pads. Of course, we don't have the rotting wood problem in Minecraft, thankfully. We do have the flammable problem, but we don't have the rotting problem. We can go ahead and finish off our little decorative fireplace. Fire pit, I guess, here in the middle. And here where these torches are, you want to just go ahead and place down 5 campfires right there. And as I remarked, all the furniture and everything, it's included in the world download in that building there. But for the tutorial, for the rest of the tutorial, I thought it was going to be too confusing to try and build all the furniture along with the building. So we're only doing the building itself. I'm doing that also in case you want to decorate it with your own style. So you won't be locked in to my, very, very simple type furniture that we have over there. And of course, it's Viking time, so furniture has to be simple by definition. Tables, benches, chairs, chests. That's about all you get in those days. Well, beds too. I didn't include a bed, but you can put your bed, in the upper levels in the roost up there, I think. I think that's all there is to take a look at for phase 2, so let's go on to the next one. I don't know if we're going to get through the entire building today. Probably not. It's going to be a two-parter, I think. So here, you can go ahead and install your spruce door, just like so, and continue on. All the torches I've placed down are just suggested places for torches. If you're doing this in survival, of course, you may want to be a bit more strategic with your torch placing. Let's take a look at the exterior here. We can see you've got now a whole bunch of bark blocks coming into view here now. With the cobbled deep slate behind that, we're going to scan around the exterior here. It's just going right on top of the foundation, like so. And then we'll take a look at it from the interior. It's going to be our pattern for the rest of the tutorial. We're going to start on the outside, take a look at that, and then take a look at the interior. All right, there's our doorway along the long axis of the building. And then here for the interior, we've got our next set of stairs right there. And of course, we have our posts going on top of our post pads here, now being extended up. I think it looks like I made these all out of bark blocks, but you don't have to. You could make them. You could make them out of just the standard tree trunks. There, because the bark blocks are a bit more expensive than the standard blocks. But like I said, I hope you have a really good spruce tree farm, because you're going to need it for this one. And just here along the side, and then back along our center line. All right, so that's a quarter of the building looked at. Now remember, as I said, all the measurements for the other 3 quarters are the same. So you could just go back and watch, what we just talked about 3 more times, or you could look at what you've already built and just, replicate it here. Because you already have the information you need for that built into your world. So you just got to, rotate it around and keep on building. All right, let's take a look at the next phase. Here we have just a couple of more decorative stairs right here at the front. Right there, and that's going to be all that for those. So the garden exterior wall is completely complete now. And we'll focus on the exterior of the building. So we've got a little beam going across our door right there. Bit more cobbled deep slate, and now some, I think these are dark oak fences actually. I think dark oak is what I went with for these. The other ones were too lighter. I needed a good middle color between these two here, and the dark oak I think fit the bill. So that's what we went with for that. All right, so let's scan around the exterior first, and then we'll take a look at the interior. If you want to, you can retrofit some of these fence windows with glass. But this is, also early medieval times, so there's really not a whole lot of window glass anywhere. Of course, the Romans had window glass, but early medieval times didn't really go in for things like, fancy things like glass and pottery. Everything was all wood and leather and things that just, rot away and just leave a stain in the ground. That's why when archaeologists, when they'll dig up these buildings, they really, they might find, a few bits of metalwork, a few bits of stone, but mostly the rest of it is all going to be a giant stain in the ground because all the wood would have rotted away, and that's all you'd be left with. And the tongue twisters continue in this particular tutorial. Not on purpose, it's just working out that way. Alright, so there's a section over here by the doorway. And for the columns, for the posts, we're just extending those straight up on top of the post pads. We'll do some connecting beams for that later on. Alright, and our stairs on either side there. I think that's all there is to take a look at for that phase. So let's go on to the next one. I think I could talk long enough to do a couple more phases today. So over here by the doorway, we've got just one little dark oak fence there along the center line. 2 tree trunks on either side, and of course extending up our windows and everything, just like here. And at this level, we're also working in the first of a great many spruce trap doors that you see behind there. I did try and use the trap doors a bit more judiciously on certain areas instead of just, festooning the building with those and buttons. But we did use, some of those. All right, so there's the exterior of a quarter, so let's take a look now at the inside. All right, just extend up all your posts on the post pads. They're just going straight up still. And then along the interior here. All right, so that's a quarter of the building looked at. So let's take a look at the next quarter. All right, so here we've got, I did do a sort of a hint of the Gothic arch here out of cobbled deep slate. And then we have a little triangular roof over that, just like so. And let's scan around the outside. Few trapdoors here on the exterior. I really like the wooden trapdoors with the tree trunks and everything. Makes it look really nice. If you want to, on the interior, you can strip some of the wood. But I went with the unstripped wood because, you know, it's a Viking aesthetic. Things need to be just a bit more rough and ready, I think. And oh, I think um, there should be a spruce trapdoor there. It looks like I missed one. So you're gonna need 4 extra trapdoors to fix that. All right, and here for our other doorway, like so. And then here along the entrance vestibule, along this section. So let's land here. We can see we've got these little, you know, these little arch things. Well, you know, Minecraft. It's as much of an arch as we can do, with some stairs and trapdoors. I think if you know, if you look at it a bit sideways, you can kind of see what it's supposed to be. Nice little carved wooden archways and everything. We have that detail going on again here on these little alcoves in the walls. And the same for the windows over here as well. Just the upside down spruce stairs and then the trapdoors there in the middle. See? And over here for the entrance vestibule along the long section of the building there. Over here by the windows to give them a little bit more shape. And for all of our posts, we want to have along the front here. I'm not sure why I didn't do those. May have missed a detail on that. In fact, these need to be done like that. So you're going to need even more spruce trapdoors for those two on either end of the building. Just like that there. And then along the front here for our large post for the hammer beam roof, we just want to have some upside down stairs back over here. Alright, so I think that's going to be all there is for that phase. It's a lot of complicated woodwork, but if you just take it slow and do it a block at a time, you'll be able to get it. Next phase, we're actually adding our first floor into the building. Let's start over here, of course, at the doorway. A bit more cobbled deep slate. Some spruce there and some oak bark blocks on the sides. And then, of course, we've got some spruce beams just going straight across there with spruce plank filler blocks behind those. And then, of course, we have some oak bark blocks going across there to, you know, we'll want to have some contrast between some of the bark blocks. Otherwise, the building was originally all spruce bark blocks, but it was just too dark. It's out of range now to look at the roof, but you couldn't see the roof line very well, so I went back and added in some oak instead to brighten things up, so we kind of see the shapes a bit better. But most of these, as you can see, are just straight runs of wood and everything. Right here, back at our other entrance, and on top of that, we can see here we're just laying down this pattern here. A very regular pattern of spruce bark blocks, and some of this is going to be full spruce planks, like along the edges here. But let me give you a good top-down view so you can see a good quarter of it right here. But for these here, these are actually half slabs underneath here. You can see here, we've got these half slabs right there. So let's orientate ourselves. There's our fire. So if we just walk around here, we can see that these two here are going to be stairs, by the way. It's, you know, for a stairwell, we had to have a little landing here, and then we had to have the stairs turn and go this way. So those are going to be poking out right there, but the rest of this is going to be half slabs. Just right along here, and all these little coffers we have between our beams. See? And same deal back here for this little entrance vestibule. But for all the filler blocks, you know, back along here, those can be solid oak plank blocks. Otherwise, all the more interior sections here are the half slabs. But that's going to be all the time we have for today. We've made a good solid start on the building today, but for the rest of it, we're going to probably put that into a part 2, I think. So I hope you are enjoying the Nordic Longhouse so far. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.